Hi all, welcome back to Investigative Fascism. I had to pause this project for some time as I was focusing on some personal matters and on certain political things that are not political, they are just human things. The heaviness of the world, rise of authoritarianism, the atrocities in Gaza unseen in this century, the mass killing, the horrors, the daily horrors that continue, right? So I've been taking some action, let's say, including in like recording more Lithuanian. Anyway, I was like, I'm abandoning investigative selfism, but not for long. So thank you for still expecting to see me here. And, you know, this season of investigative selfism, that doesn't have that many episodes, I understand. The theme was to talk about things, not only the things that, we need to deconstruct, we need to maybe reframe, right, approach differently, but the things that we need to just fucking smash completely. You know? So my first episode was on the need to allow your self-image to change just because you like saw yourself at some point in one way. You know, that's fine. You can drop it. You don't need to show loyalty to your old self-image. And the second episode was on how we don't need to show loyalty to anyone who we used to praise, you know, and have our idols when we have some new info about them, like, holy fuck, oh my God, I used to like this person, or I used to admire his or her work. And now I'm like, oh my God, things have changed, right? So we don't need to like hold on to anything or anyone, really. And another thing I was thinking, and it came from that heaviness of the world, you know, it's a simple thing and it will sound kind of vague maybe, but like, let me explain. And that is just, we need to smash that, you know, potential need that we might feel to be apologetic when we talk about certain things with certain people. And why, and you might say, you know, like, yeah, always, yeah, of course, cool. But why I think for me this has become more relevant, that is because of the genocide in Gaza. And when I look at my own like writings and recordings, you know, and how, of course, yes, I do want to include the audience, right? I do speak with people who I know my audience are not people who should be convinced about the humanity of others. It's more about people who might not know certain things. I'm like, I'm here, you know, you might not know these things, and like, look, right? That was sort of the naive, you know, image that I had of my project. So instead of shaming, you're like inviting more. And my own language has become in the past 17 months, sort of stronger in a way, not violent, right? It's still non-violent communication, but the calling out of someone defending fascism, someone expressing fascist views, someone bowing down to fascist regimes. I'm like, oh yeah, being apologetic, like, oh, and using this, you know, language, it doesn't fucking work, right? It just doesn't work. And it became so clear. There's still navigation needed, right? How we talk about certain things with people. Like, yes, navigation is needed. Like, context matters. But I was thinking, and maybe this is something you've been thinking as well, that when we see, right, when we live in this time, and I was talking to my sister today about it, how there's that heaviness of the world, because maybe we didn't expect to be living in historic times. We would read about mass atrocities in our history books. We would think, how were people allowing this to happen, or how were others silent? And, you know, and now we're seeing that, and it's really tough. It's really tough, right? And I was thinking for months now, if there are, in, you know, how you communicate within that, you know, nonviolent communication, whatever window, you know, if there's something like a spectrum there, something like a 3D structure, however I want to imagine that, you know, if there's stronger words and there's a stronger tone and you say things more directly, and there's something more like, hey, you know, like kind of like this. So if there is that end of the spectrum where the words are stronger, the tone is stronger, and you're more straightforward, for what are you saving them? What else needs to happen? What else do you need to see to condemn something very, very loudly. What else? What else do you need? For what are you saving that? So it's difficult, right? To see sometimes silence of your friends, and like the heaviness of the world comes in different expressions of that. I understand. And the question is, when you feel that heaviness, you're pressured, once again, what else do you need to use all the tools that you have to speak out against what I don't use like religious, or since I'm non-political kind of, science instead of words to describe things, but kind of speaking out against, and I will use this now, seeing evil, seeing horrors being unleashed without mercy upon children. Cool. Light language, maybe silence, If you have friends, you have some community members with whom you cannot talk about these things, right? Because you think maybe they'll be uncomfortable because they disagree, like you don't have fucking relationships. You're not maintaining relationships. You're just appeasing fascists. You're appeasing fascists. Like that's what you're doing. And what else needs to happen, and it does have to be, when we talk about genocides, but that like, someone's going to be maybe uncomfortable. I should center their comfort. I should center their comfort instead of expressing my own opinions, my needs, and, and other things. And yes, I know obviously for women, hey, it's much more difficult because of the good girl conditioning. It's just like, always smile and make people feel comfortable. Don't show anger. That's not feminine. It's showing anger. Fragile men cannot take your anger because they don't know how to handle that. And it's going to make them uncomfortable, right? So we know that conditioning, for women especially, like it's really difficult. Am I being as unapologetic as I'd like to be in all my areas of life? No, obviously. But this has been this recurring theme in my mind, in my head. Okay, what does it take, or like how to move in that direction? And it's obviously not easy. Hence, reminders are needed, I think, including for myself. So I hope that you too see, hopefully, some areas of your life where to be more, once again, not violent, but unapologetic is needed. And I hope you have people like that, or some people like that, at least in your community. I happen to know some really amazing people who are such examples for me. And then sometimes in different areas of life as well. I'm like, oh my God, yes, these people exist. There are examples. There are some people to whom I can, who I can look up to, because okay, that is possible. It's not just theory. It's not just like that would be nice to have, but some people have been actually implementing that, including where there are very tangible risks. I understand that not every political action or action in your life in general, it's like risk-free and it's all about courage. No, it is very contextual, and sometimes the risks are very, they can be felt on the body, in the soul as well sometimes, right? So I'm not talking about this because it's easy or risk-free. It's more of a reminder to check in on ourselves, our courage levels, and what's important. Because for me, if it is important, I tell myself, if it is important, you will do this. If it is important, you will do something. If it is important, you will fucking, speak out and, do something. And at the same time, I'm not like that in all my areas of life, which is not great also. But does that negate the need to smash that apologetic kind of, talking and just not seeing yourself as an important agent in your life, and not seeing yourself as an important agent in how we change societies, like that's really sad, isn't it? Like that's not a cool direction to take. So I hope this if you're still watching, I hope this resonated. I hope that it is a reminder, to do that personal check-in, like what's happening. For me, it's been very forced by the world, and my political work upon me. And I'm very grateful, because without that push, I would have stayed in my, there is a range still, but I would have been showing up, talking about things in general in a very different way. So there is that, from all these horrors that are unimaginable and just, whoa, there is that opportunity there to check in with yourselves and see, okay, am I saving those stronger words and stronger tone for something else, or should I just start using it now, where it matters? So let's all try to do more of that where it's needed, where it matters, and where, I will say in a very dramatic way, where the world needs it. We have such horrible deaths of humanity to so many groups of people in this world, obviously, not just the children of Gaza, children of Congo, children of Sudan, and many other areas. I understand. So we have this huge debt of humanity that I don't think it can be repaid. But I think the work towards that still counts. So let's do it. Thank you so much.